Hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a CBT therapist and forensic psychologist, and today I wanted to talk about thematic analysis. As at the moment, I am doing my DPsych in forensic psychology, and as part of this, I'm going to be using a thematic analysis to analyse some of my data. So I wanted to explain a bit more about the process. So I'm going to be using Braun and Clarke's thematic analysis, and I thought it would be helpful to go through the main 6 steps really to be able to complete a thematic analysis. So to start off with, you have that data familiarization. So this is where you're really trying to get to grips with the data. You're trying to really just immerse yourself in the data by listening to it, really being able to understand, okay, what is actually coming out of this data. Start to think about what is the content, what's within this. Look at the breadth of the data that you've got and trying to be able to potentially start to look for any particular patterns that you might see within the data, whether that are words or just patterns, and starting to make sense of the meaning. This is where you'll be transcribing, you'll be reading and rereading, and really trying to make notes of anything that you notice that might be of interest. And at this point, it's really better to get more data and more kind of an understanding of it rather than not enough, because that familiarization is the first port of call really. And then once you've done that and you start to get an idea of certain patterns or certain things of interest within your data, and then what you want to do is what it's called the initial code generalization. So codes are a way to organize the data, and this is just the initial stage. So you're just starting to gather that data that you've familiarized yourself with, and you're starting to put them just into sections and just being able to give codes and just to be able to identify different areas within your data that could be of interest. And this is where you label things and you organize your data into meaningful groups. So they're the patterns, they're the meaning behind it, but also kind of looking at, okay, what are these groups and why are they meaningful? And obviously thinking about holding in mind your research question as you're going through this. And then you want to be able, once you've got your codes, so that's kind of all those bits of information, all the things you thought, this is going to be important, this is going to be interesting. And then you've got your codes, and then you want to start to group those codes into themes. And once you start to understand, sometimes it happens quite naturally that you start to see some of the themes that are developing through the codes. And remember, you've got the inductive and deductive codes as well. But what you want to do is, once you're starting to get these themes, you're starting to generalize and to gather them. And you're starting to potentially maybe start to map them out or to write them down and just maybe, okay, so what is this theme and what does this actually mean? What's actually within this? What is this theme showing me from the data? And you maybe even start to identify relationships between different themes, but really focusing on getting those codes, grouping those codes into certain themes. And then once you've generated the initial themes, you really want to start to review the themes that you have. So thinking about if there's any certain patterns between the themes, and ensuring that there's enough data within each theme to it to be seen as a theme and rather than just a code of data. And this may, when you group certain themes together, you realise, they could actually be in one theme, so kind of collapsing and collaborating some of the groups of the themes to create one kind of bigger theme. And it's about kind of reworking, redefining some of the codes that you've created and some of the themes also. So that's kind of when you're reviewing your themes. And then once you've got that, you want to start to define your theme. So identify what story is this theme telling me, and then creating a label for that theme, so a title of your theme. So you've got that title there. So you've got that understanding, what is this theme actually showing me? And this is where you go between looking at the data, organising the themes, and trying to organise it into some sort of story that your data is trying to convey. And you may also try to think about, how does the data that you've got, how does this fit into the research? How does this respond to the story that I'm trying to, or wanting to convey and wanting to tell? And then once you've got that, so you've gone through, you've familiarised yourself, you've looked at the code, you've gathered the codes, you've created the themes from the codes. And then once you've got that, it's about being able to report that, write it all up, doing it in a coherent and a concise story of what does your data show. And in doing so, that allows you to be able to present your data. You can really address the research question. You can create an argument, address maybe a previous argument, and being able to work through that. And just writing beyond that simple description of potentially what the themes and the codes were, and being able to present it as a story. And it could be just within some of the themes, it could be between some of the themes. It's just how you present your data. So that is a really simple explanation of a thematic analysis. I said, I'm learning this again. It's been a while since I've been out of learning, so I hope you found that helpful. It's a way that I got it in my head and got it to stick. I'm going to be putting a lot more videos about my research journey, but I've also got a lot of other videos on my channel about mental health, cognitive behavioural therapy, and forensic psychology. So if you like what you see, please subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you.